2025. City Hall, 135 North Animas Street, Trinidad, Colorado. Pledge allegiance, please stand. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, our guests. Roll call.
Moderado.
Roll call.
Spain.
Yes, sir.
Moderado.
Here.
Rulo. Armindo. Morris.
Here.
Leo.
Here. Public comments? None? Approval of minutes from June 10, 2025 regular meeting minutes. We've had a chance to look them over. If there's any omissions or corrections, we'll bring them forward.
I'll make a motion that we approve them.
A motion to approve, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Moderado.
Here.
Spain.
Yes, sir.
Rulo.
Abstain.
Morris.
Yes.
Leone.
Yes. Old business? None? Public hearing? Skip Hampton, LLLP 2025, Zone -01, Kip Hampton, LLLP requests a major impact review for the purpose of rezone from industrial, community commercial to open boundary line adjustment of 18,075 square feet, lot 1 of Kip Hampton subdivision, number 1, 22,848 square feet of DR and G tract, and 128,109 square feet of tract 4, original township of the city of Trinidad, part of the Vaca land city of Trinidad, county of Los Angeles, state of Colorado. Staff.
Can't. You can see in the, my staff report, I do have an error. I left in sentence, but that's an error. It should be Kip Hampton LLP. Tim Lamb was the trustee for Kip Hampton. They are requesting a major impact rezone or application review for a rezone and a boundary line adjustment. The boundary line adjustment is actually done administratively, but the rezone needs to be done through the major impact. The property is currently zoned. There's 3 zonings on the property. We'll get to it a little bit more, but there's actually industrial, community commercial, and open. So we're going to be rezoning the 2 industrial and community commercial to open. So I guess the first thing we probably should go through is the location. You can see on the second page of the staff report the picture there. You can see we have chestnuts coming in, as well as thank you, missed it. The one right behind Toyota, that runs along Toyota. So we have the Toyota, we have the old city garage shown there. Los Niños Park is in the south of that picture. And what the boundary line adjustment is for everything in the green there. The rezone is only for the 2 pieces. The leg that sticks out to the left and the leg that sticks out to the south. That's zone commercial and industrial. The industrial is on the top and the commercial to the one that where the former Noah's Ark was. So the entire boundary line adjustment is that. The only 2 property owners is Kip Hampton LLP and the city of Trinidad. So we're going to rezone those 2, get it all to 1 open zoning. So it's all going to be open. So we have that leg there that comes in off of Chestnut and goes to the parking lot. A lot of you know the parking lot there by the former Noah's Ark. It gives you access to Los Niños Park on the north side, as well as the couple buildings there for the Noah's Ark. And then that space there is a parking lot, that's going to be rezoned as well as part of the boundary line adjustment. And then the tract 4 is actually that big leg that covers the river, and then goes on on both sides of the river, a piece of the river walk. So that's kind of the general area for the boundary line adjustment and the rezone, just so everyone's clear where we're going. It doesn't quite reach Linden. It goes, their property ends just short of Linden there. Is everyone good on the location where we're talking? Any questions? I don't mind trying to clarify. I know it's not easy to picture. This might have been a good one to go walk. So with this, Kip Hamden is working with the city of Trinidad to get this to be one parcel and to get it to be one zoning. It has to have one zoning per section 1432.3 of the land use code. So you can't buy or create a piece of property without it having the same zone. So we're trying to rectify that piece. So like I said, it's a boundary line adjustment that's usually done administratively. But because we're doing the rezone, we thought we'd bring it up to you guys anyway. And the rezone plat is actually the Valentine open space. That's what it's called, or that's what it's called as. It's on the back of the staff report. I kind of described what the boundary line adjustment includes. And then the end goal here is for the city to actually purchase the Valentine open space plat, that property there, the total of it. And one piece is to use a parking lot for Los Niños Park. We have a project going in on Los Niños on the north side. So we'll get some parking for that. So having the parking lot, having a dedicated access to that parking lot. And then the river part's a big piece for the future river visioning plan that the city has as a long-term goal. That piece of property is going to help us achieve that goal. So it worked out to have all three of them connected and go through this process just one time. Let's see. So for the lot line adjustment, lot line or easement adjustment, lot consolidation, that's the boundary line adjustment plat. Everything's been met. The only thing that was going to be a sticking issue is the zoning. Like I said, we're rectifying that by doing the rezoning at the same time. The final plat, all the requirements were met. For the rezoning, the criteria, going through that. The rezoning is necessary for one or more of the following reasons. The area of rezoning is requested has changed or is changing. The previous uses were commercial and industrial. The industrial piece was kind of because the railroad ran through there. That's not really, that's not the case now. Obviously, the railroad doesn't go through there. And then the commercial piece, yes, it has a commercial use, but also for the city's purposes, using it as a parking lot is going to be, as an addition to our current park, that's going to be a better use. So the zoning's pretty what the city wants actually. The rezone application complies with the city's comprehensive plan. The growth of the park is encouraged, especially with the city investing in the park, trying to get more use out of it. And then the long-term improvement in the rivers, that's a further conversation, but it is in the plans. And then include changing the zoning to open also decrease the amount of development in that area, but it's in the park and the river. Development's really tough anyway, we're gonna be in the flood zone. So using it, it's probably best use as a park and then a recreation area in the river. And then there's no utilities really right now at this point planned. There will be some stuff like lighting and stuff, I'm sure, later on as that project moves forward, as well with the pickleball, but right now there's no utility changes requested. So for the recommended findings, the application is consistent with land use code. The boundary line adjustment and rezone won't negatively impact the surrounding neighborhood. All the review criteria has been met for the rezone. And then the only thing, and then for the staff recommendation, it is approval with the conditions. The one condition is, and this came up Thursday, I believe, last Thursday. If you look on your sheet with the rezone, it could be a touch confusing because it calls out A and B. Those are the two that are actually being rezoned. So the one's commercial, the other one's industrial. But it's a touch confusing because it doesn't show the entire piece of property that's all being, the boundary line adjustment. That's the Valentine open space. So the condition we're going to do is I contacted the surveyor. He's going to redraw and add some language to make sure it's clear that this is purely just a rezone. We're not creating more parcels. The only thing that's changing parcels is the Valentine open space, and all we're doing with the zoning amendment map is just changing the zoning. But it can be touch confusing just because it calls out those two parcels. So instead we're going to blow it up, show the entire thing, and then call it the two parcels anyway, because those two parcels do need called out, just because when I write an ordinance for this, we need to have their descriptions. But that's the only condition, so basically the zoning map is going to change, but it's going to be the same map, just blown out so we can see the entire piece, the entire Valentine open space. And it is a bit of a cadence issue. We'll file the Valentine open space, and then we'll file the rezone afterwards. That's all I have.
Okay, I'll open the hearing. Is there anybody here gonna be here to represent them?
No, Tim was unavailable, unfortunately, so he couldn't. We worked together on it, so yeah, he was hopeful, but yeah, he unfortunately couldn't be today. It'll be for the rezone.
So, I don't see anybody here as far as,
Public comment.
right. So, does that back up to the back of the garage where the city was?
Yes, so it's,
Goes right around.
it goes around it, so we're getting the access across the
That's it
front,
right there, then.
and then
Right here, yeah.
we're getting the access across the front, so on the other side of the fence, basically, because the city garage, the old city garage is fenced in.
Right.
So it's going right in front of that, that's where the access will be, and then where that Noah's Ark was is what we're purchasing as well, so it's on the other side of it, towards the park. But Kip Hamden is the owner of the old city garage. They will retain.
So is he
ownership.
gonna be able to get in there?
Yes, because it'd be public.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'd be public access
I
way.
guess you'll have to get in there with that easement that they had for the dog pound.
Yeah,
the
so
dog
the
pound
city,
way around.
the city, what we did is the city had an easement. That's that leg shown coming from Chestnut.
Right.
We had an easement. We're just going to be in ownership. We're going to take ownership of it just so we have it. But it will still remain public, and they can use it because it'd be a public access way. Yeah. So they'll use it to get in their facility.
Okay, I guess we got questions. You wanna ask him questions? I mean, I guess he's here to answer.
Okay. My question is like, okay, so the difference, I guess, between industrial and open, are we getting more restrictive or are we getting less restrictive by going to open?
We're going to get way more restrictive because open doesn't allow for anything besides parks and and then we're you could do a parking lot, but we're kind of doing that as an addition to the park. So
Okay.
that's about it. There's not too much you can do with open. Industrial does allow for quite a bit, except residential. So, but yeah, there's no residential piece down here at all.
Okay, so we're taking,
Yeah,
Okay.
we're getting a little more restrictive. That's for sure.
okay.
Ms. Roll,
I have no questions.
Mr. Marrano?
Yeah, my question is that on here it said it's a joint effort between the city and these people here.
Yeah. Kip Hamden, yes.
Okay, what kind of position does that put us in?
What do you mean? The city commonly works with applicants, especially when we have a common goal, in which case the city would be buying it. So, yeah, we commonly work with applicants and assisting them in these type of applications.
And I think it's great. This is gonna give us a parking lot for this park that already exists and to this new development they're working on. I mean, we need to take the parking off of the street and put it into a parking lot already. We've discussed this a bunch. I really appreciate y'all's efforts to do this for us. I know the citizens are gonna love this. Thank you.
I really don't have anything. I just, there was somewhat on that piece across the river. How is that tied in?
It's not really. It's just a piece of property. It was previously owned by the railroad actually, and Kip Hampton ended up buying it from them. It doesn't really tie in anywhere. There's not really any access. The main access is going to be through our river walk. So that's kind of the goal, long-term goal.
All right, I have no questions. Any other staff input?
No, that's it. Just like I said, the condition is the rezone plat will have some added language or modified to clear any confusion. Just so that it's clear that the Valentine open space is the actual plat, and then the rezone is not creating anything. It's just simply rezoning those districts or those two pieces, so it would be one common district or one common zoning district.
I don't see anybody here for or against. Okay, gentlemen, ladies,
I'll make a motion to approve.
make a motion to approve by Mrs. Roll. Do I have a second?
Are we doing with
With the condition.
With the condition.
With the condition that the rezone plat add language and or is modified to clear any confusion of the entire Valentine open space, that it'll be one parcel and have one zoning.
Have a second?
No second.
Second, roll call.
Spain,
Yes, sir.
Monterano,
Yes.
Rolo,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Leone.
Yes. New business, none?
No.
Planning Commission's report, Chairman, I have a couple. Basically, I think that the city of Trinidad did, put a point blank, a hell of a job on Santa Fe Trail Days. There was a heck of a bunch of people, city employees, including our city manager was there. All the city employees, I see they had something to do and they did it, good job. And what impressed me was the next day, the streets were cleaned up.
Yep.
I didn't see nothing. And I'm usually the one that'll get some little bit of complaints about something. I didn't get any.
No.
But that's, the only other thing I have to do, I would say is, have we done anything on that building on Main Street? Is there anything going on there?
Referring to the Opera House.
Yeah.
We.
The only reason is, not only today, but during that time of Santa Fe Trail Days, and you had some people that were downtown ahead of time, they were walking on the street.
Yeah.
They were walking on the street. And I just can't see somebody's gonna get run over there or something,
I
something's
know.
gonna happen. I don't know what the solution is, but there's gotta be a solution somewhere.
Yeah, we've had more contact with the owners as of recent, last 2 months or.
What does the ordinance say?
Hang on.
So we're trying to get some resolution out of it. The main thing that we're focused on now is trying to get a structural engineer to go in the building and find out if it's recoverable, how much it's going to cost to recover it, or if there's no solution, it needs to come down. So the city's working with the property owner to try to get that accomplished, and we're trying as hard as we can to get some traction on it. I know I can't stand it just like you guys. I really can't.
Great facade for a parking garage.
I know.
Tara, you have anything to
Parking
put on
garage
that?
on the inside and just.
I believe what Nick said is correct. We're
Okay.
working through some legal issues right now.
Okay. Commissioners reports. Mr. Norris.
The boulevard's looking really good. The monthly Riverwalk cleanup selected that area for this one, latest pickup. There are still several residents, but they're all up by the Jetty Jacks and the tracks, and so they're not really affecting everybody who's using the park. And quite a few people are fishermen, dog walkers, and the bikes. So it is an asset and looking good.
Mr. Olo,
I have nothing tonight.
you don't have nothing in?
Not tonight.
Nothing at this time?
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Moderano? Nothing?
I'd just like to say that I've heard, just like everyone else, the citizens are very happy with what y'all been doing. They see the improvements and the changes that y'all made. And I just want to encourage y'all to keep up the good work, that they're happy.
Planning Director report.
So I think last time I talked about Loves last time, I believe, but they broke ground. The Loves did. That was work we did not too long ago. And I don't know if you went out there, but every day they get stuff done.
They poured the footers.
They pour the footers
All the
2
footers.
weeks after breaking ground.
Gonna pour the floor on
Yeah.
Friday, and then something else on Saturday.
Yeah, they are
And-
getting after it.
They're gonna
Their
kick
tanks
out
are
that
supposed to
man.
be in the second week or third week of July
Yeah,
to be installed.
I don't know. It's awesome to watch a project go that fast, especially how complex a project it really is. Gas tanks aren't easy to put in, but these guys they hire the best, and then man, they are getting after
They
it.
moved
So
a lot of dirt for a little while.
They moved a lot of dirt in 2 weeks. That was very impressive with that much dirt.
Yeah.
So that's all encouraging. It's going to be a great asset, and hopefully it's online before the end of this year. So that was their goal. So that'd be awesome. I do want to say the Circle K, we've had some traction. It looks like they got their issue solved with CDOT, so they're going to be moving forward. That's very recent, so still have to talk with them and on their development. But they got some traction finally, and
Did they do all their,
they
What they had to do is
finally
what?
worked it out. They finally
State
worked out.
highway?
Yeah, they finally worked out CDOT. Got all their issues resolved, and they still have a couple small hurdles to jump through, but I don't think they're going to hold up the project much longer. So we'll be seeing that project move forward as well, which is very encouraging.
Cleanup was at 100% on that?
They did
Excellent.
I think they picked up. There were some tires left over. We had the building inspector had the people that knocked down the building clean that up too. So it's fresh and ready to go. It's gonna be a great amenity for our town and on that side of town especially. Just because it's a little bit of there's not too much going on over in that residential neighborhood, so at least they'll have something else to go to. Besides that, I think that's all about I have. We've been pretty busy with building improvements, but they've been pretty minor. A lot of carports, and we've done a lot recently. So a lot of that stuff's starting to just play out. With like Durant Ventures and that group, they're just kind of now they're not coasting, but they're doing actually their hard work now, which is building stuff. So they're moving forward with all that, and they're still kind of seeing the fruits here, which is going to be nice. See these buildings going up. So I think that's all I have.
so one more thing, street maintenance, when have they decided on that?
Street maintenance.
You had, I seen it was advertised.
For the paving.
For asphalt paving, yes.
There was a contract awarded 2 council meetings ago, I believe, and that includes a piece of Garrett Drive, Saddle Road up there in
That's where they just put all that pipeline in.
Yeah, they did a sewer line extension for the.
That's why the manholes are up higher.
Yeah, so that one, and then there's a section on San Juan, or 2 blocks, because they got a really good price. So they might extend that project a little bit. So a block or 2 or even 3 of San Juan. Man, there was one more piece that they're going to do some overlay, or yeah, I think it was overlay. So that the hard part with those is that you always have to do the 88 corners first, and then once you get your 88 corners in place, then you can do your paving. If you go in and start paving, your sidewalk isn't improved for ADA standards, then it can get dinged from the DOJ. So that's always the good thing is all these projects are going to be good enough for the ADA, so we don't have to worry about that. And that's kind of why these ones were picked. Now the Saddle Road was a big one because of this, like you said, the manhole coverage being left up. So
Why are they tearing up all the handicap access that were put in, like in 17 and 18?
I think I might not be the best person, but I think a lot of those domes are outdated. They didn't actually.
They were just put in. That's
I know.
Six
The
years.
domes were, I think, outdated, and the city's moved away from the truncated domes like that. Because it happens on your cross slope as the street comes into it. It doesn't meet your ADA, so and to be honest, I'll have to report back on that one because I'll talk with public.
I just see them tearing them up. I know they were put in.
Yeah, they weren't terribly old. You're right. So I'll talk to Public Works about that one.
Well, Tara, you got anything you want to talk about?
Nothing this week unless you got a question for me.
Yeah, appreciate you coming to the meeting.
You bet.
So, anything else, Planning Director?
No.
Nothing else. A motion adjourn. Mr. Norris.
I'll make a motion.
Motion adjourned. Not a second.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Monterano. Roll call.
Norris,
Yes.
Rillo,
Yes.
Spain,
Yes, sir.
Moderano,
Yep.
Leone.
Yes.
Outstanding.